Hey and welcome. I'm your boy Solo. In this video, I'll be going over a new addition to my setup that I think is important but not needed and why. You could probably guess from the title of this video that I'm talking about battery backups. This is not a sponsored video, this is just a piece of hardware that I got for my setup that I think is important but overlooked by many and very underrated. I'll be going over the unit I got, why I got it, and some of the benefits they offer, and before I waste any more time, let's jump into it. For as to why I got one and think they're important is simple. Where I live, the odd power blinks happen. It's nothing crazy, but just enough to shut your PC off mid-work or game or edit, and then you would have to start all over. As a content creator, this affected things for me. If the power goes out and I'm rendering a video, I need to start over. If I'm editing, the loss of work back to the time I saved last wasn't very appealing. I'm not sure how good the power blinks are on a PC, but the surge protection was a very welcomed feature. If you already have a very nice expensive computer and a pretty nice setup, you already have thousands of dollars of hardware that you could be protecting, and it covers the hardware that you have connected to it. So I think that alone is very important. Stopping loss of work, protecting from power surges, and ensuring all of your hardware connected. So like I said at the beginning, they can be very important, but not needed at all. For my setup, I went with a very trusted brand, APC, and I got their APC 1500 VA UPS battery backup and surge protector. The APC UPS Backups Pro BX 1500M. This is a 900 watt capable unit. I went with this model for a few reasons, but the main reason is it has a replaceable battery that you can hot swap. So you don't even need to turn anything off or shut down your system or anything at all to swap out the battery if it happens to fail. I like this for many reasons. Replaceable batteries means that if you do happen to have a fail, it doesn't become e-waste, and you don't need to shut down your whole entire setup to swap out a failing unit. Allows my render to keep on going while I maintenance the APC unit in maybe 3 to 5 years with new batteries. So I find that a super big plus, and it's very convenient to be able to hot swap them. All I have to do is just flip it on its side, pop the bottom off, and swap out the battery. Nothing will even turn off. I won't even notice it on my computer. So if I'm in the middle of work and I hear a really bad battery beep and it starts kicking off, my system starts tripping out, my stuff doesn't turn off. The battery just turns off. I can flip it on its side and replace the battery. Done. No downtime at all. This is great for a server environment, but for if you're streaming or if you're recording, this is super great. If you don't want to record in let's say FLV and you're recording in MP4, if the power goes out and you're recording MP4, it's lost. With one of these units, you could actually save all that work, because if the power goes out, you could stop your recording and shut everything down safely. I got one with enough watts suggested to handle 2 PC setup with 2 lights, a camera, 3 monitors, 2 sets of speakers, a Focusrite 3rd gen, a mic, 2 mice, and 2 keyboards. And this unit actually ended up being way more than I needed. It's a little bit of an overkill for my setup. My total draw from the wall using my PC hard and streaming capped out at about 360 watts. So I ended up hooking up my mining rig to it. So for the third PC, before it ended up getting to about 500 watts consistent load. This is great. If the power goes out, that gives me lots of time to shut things down and save my work. And there was a few other features that I really liked. This unit has a small LED screen on it that displays info, so you can see how many watts you're using, the load that you have on the unit, and how long it will last with the load in minutes. I love this. Knowing I got 45 minutes to shut down my PC when it is idle gives me lots of times if something goes wrong or the power goes out and I'm somewhere else in the house. And that just leads on to the next feature. If you're not home, another feature I really like that most battery backups have is the software they come with. This software can save your work safely and shut things down. So it'll save your work and shut your PC down safely. So if you're not home, you can leave your setup knowing if the power blinks or goes out, you won't lose work or risk damaging your setup. And again, back to the if something does happen, they got your setup that's plugged into it covered. That's a big peace of mind, and the main reason I got it was for the replaceable batteries. But a lot of these features are very welcome, and I never realized how important a backup unit could be. The last feature I looked into before making this video was the automatic volt regulations, the AVR. This adjusts the minor power fluctuations and maintains safe voltage conditions without using the battery backup's power. If you've ever heard the word dirty power, this is where your power is in flux sometimes, and this can damage some electronics and or cause instability in hardware. Like computers, I noticed this while overclocking the most. This is something that I would like to check out just with a little bit more detail, because I had some problems. I have had dirty power on this one plug. It read out building fault. This ended up being a bad ground in the plug. This caused issues with my computer. When I set any overclocks at all, it would crash. And I don't know why I had my computer restart 3 times a day. After I got the unit, my restarting issues actually went away. It has been over a week now, not a single restart, but I noticed that my APC unit had a readout saying 3 events my first day and 6 the next. So I reset the events to 0 to see if it was gonna be 3 each and every single day. I did this for about a week, and sure enough, I had 3 events every single day. Seems odd, that's how often that my PC ended up crashing. So I plugged my computer back into the wall and tested it to see if it was my power, and sure enough, like clockwork, 3 restarts a day for 3 more days while I tested it. So I was super compelled to make this here video about power backups, because you really don't know how important they are, even if you don't need one. And don't get me wrong, they are definitely not needed at all, but I think they're an amazing addition to any setup. And the pros and cons of them they outweigh themselves. The pros are so much greater. If you make content or stream, they provide coverage of your expensive setup, and they give you lots of time to like shut down your PC, protection from dirty power and surges, which is super important to me because they can harm your hardware, and the software to save and shut down your setup if you're not home was really awesome. If the power goes out, that's perfect. Batteries that you can replace without shutting anything down, and they are very low maintenance. The only cons I can think of are the cost. They are not cheap. If they are, beware. Please be careful. Research before you buy. They take up a lot of space as another con, I guess, and they do make a loud beep when something goes wrong. I guess you can mute it though, but that's not really a con. But that's all I really have to say about UPS units and why I think they're important, but definitely not needed. If you're doing work, they're even more important again. But definitely let me know what you think about battery backups in the comments below. I would like to have your opinion on units like this, and what do you think about them? Do you think I missed some pros, maybe some cons? Let me know in the comments below. Most of this is research and my opinion, so please take it with a grain of salt and do your own research when looking for a model that's right for you. I'm not an expert by no means in this area, and I only have experience with this one unit so far. But that's all there is to it. That's my first look and a little review of the APC UPS backup unit I got for my setup. I will be covering an install and setup guide for the software in the future video, so definitely get subscribed so you don't miss that. That's all there is to it. If you think I forgot or left something out, definitely leave it in the comments below. And if you like or found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up and get subscribed for more content. Thanks for watching.